with your...
Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome you all assembled devotees for our Jagannath Yatra special discourse. Today we are very fortunate to have His Holiness Bhakti Vinoda Swami Maharaj with us. Maharaj is serving out of responsibilities in ISKCON. He serves as the Deputy Governing Body Commissioner of ISKCON as well as the Chairman of International Outreach Efforts for Strategy Planning Team of the Governing Body Commission. In his incremental role as Zonal Secretary of Kerala and West Tamil Nadu, he directs the administration and institution various measures of outreach, construction of temples, and also acts as their legal advisor from time to time. And recently, Maharaj is engaged in the construction of very important temple in Coimbatore, Kuwait Chandra temple. If time permits, Maharaj will introduce that temple construction progress at the end of this session. So on behalf of all the assembled devotees, we wish to welcome Maharaj for this wonderful session on an auspicious day by chanting 3 times Hare Krishna Mahamantra altogether. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna.
Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, we can hear.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your kind welcome, and thank all of you for being present here. Today is a little busy day for me, but I'm here at the last leg. I'm a little brain dead, like they say, having gone through several meetings and several different types of events. But I'm very happy to be here today with all of you and in a position to share something about Lord Jagannath and his wonderful pastime of the Ratha Yatra. So let me offer my prayers first. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mahambode Stire Kanakaruchire Neela Shikare Vasan Prasadanta Sahaja Balabhadrena Barina Subhadra Madhyastha Sakala Sura Seva Vasarado Jagannatha Swami Nayana Patagami Bhavatume Deva Deva Jagannatha Prapanarti Vinashana Trahi Mam Pundari Kaksha Patitam Bhavasagare Namaste Halagrama Namaste Mushala Yuda Namaste Revati Kanta Namaste Bhakta Vatsala Devi Tvam Vishnu Mayapi Mohayanti Characharam Krit Padmasana Santasi Vishnu Bhavanusarini Sudarshana Mahajwala Koti Surya Samaprabha Ajnanati Mirandhanam Vaikuntabda Pradarshakam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, Lord Jagannath's Ratha Yatra, fantastic event, huge event, which in the British Times, seeing Jagannath, they called a new phrase called Juggernaut. Means it has become known now as Juggernaut. A Juggernaut means a massive event, huge event. It has derived the name from Jagannath festival. The Britishers called it Juggernaut. So If you have been there during this event in Puri, you know what a sea of people you can see. And if you get stuck in that sea, boy, you know, I've done it at least 2 times. Mostly it is so beautiful to watch from the top of the building. What a massive event of thousands and thousands and thousands of people glorifying Jagannath and dancing, chanting, kirtan, so many things going on. So we hear from Chaitanya Charitamrita how Lord Chaitanya, if we speak of Rath Yatra, we can't be without speaking of Lord Chaitanya. How Lord Chaitanya stayed for 18 years in Puri and took part in the Rath Yatra ceremony. And how he danced in great happiness, seeing Lord Jagannath. To understand the Rath Yatra's deep internal meaning, the history, and how it applies to us, we have to understand Lord Chaitanya. He gave us the real understanding by his performance during the Rath Yatra ceremony, right? So Srila Prabhupada introduced Rath Yatra all over the world, and Lord Jagannath appeared to him in San Francisco in the form of a small doll that Malini brought from the curio shop. And Prabhupada asked, go bring the other 2 figures also. And Jagannath, Balaram, Shobhadra appeared. He said, he paid obeisance and said, they have appeared in San Francisco. And he asked for Rath Yatra to be done. The huge deities of Jagannath were carved, and Rath Yatra began. And all over the world, there is Rath Yatra of Lord Jagannath, introduced by Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So this is a great event. In Coimbatore, we do Rath Yatra. Unfortunately, we're not able to do this time because of the lockdown and other situations. So I'm very happy to share my feelings with you today on Rath Yatra ceremony. Actually, the Rath Yatra is very, very, very old. Lord Chaitanya's appearance day, birthday is celebrated as Snana Yatra, which happened about 2 weeks back. So Snana Yatra ceremony also you must have seen on video, some of you. The Snana Yatra is the public bathing ceremony of the Lord, which happens once a year, because the Lord is not given Abhishek every day because he is Daru Brahman, he is wood form. So actually, you will see they will have a metal reflector of, and then they'll do Abhishek on that in the temple. But once in a year, he actually comes out and has a full public bath. That is Snana Yatra, and that is his birthday. That's the time he appeared. Actually, he appeared during the time of Swayambhuva Manu. This pastime happened during the period of Swayambhuva Manu. What's that? What's that? Do you hear some music? Background music. You especially arranged background music also for the lecture.
No, Maharaj, something happened.
Okay. So during the time of Swayambhuva Manu, actually the Lord appeared to King Indradyumna Maharaj. Swayambhuva Manu is the first Manu. Right? That time he appeared, and then, you know, the whole pastime of him going and getting the deities carved and then going to Brahma, and then so much of time passes by the time he comes back. And then the wonderful pastime you have heard about the story of Lord Jagannath, very famous, very interesting. And then he comes back, and then afterwards the temple is unearthed and built, and then only he installs the deities. All this takes so long. Then in the period of Swarochisha Manu, 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, in the period of Swarochisha Manu, the Rath Yatra was started. So at that time only Rath Yatra was started. Like this in history, you will see when the Rath Yatra started, you can say, I heard that it is some 15 crores, 345 lakhs years back. So what you're talking about, Rath Yatra, is a very, very old festival. The Lord is given in different places, different types of offerings. The Ratha Yatra is a very famous, Ratha is a very famous Ratha Rohanam, going in the Ratha carried by the Lord. Is if you go to Guruvayur, you will say Gaja Rohanam. The Lord is carried on an elephant every day, 2-3 times he's carried on an elephant. In the night time, it's very grand. It's called Siveli. So different deities opt for different type of, worship, and this is offered to the deity accordingly, right? So you can see that there is a history to it, and it's a very whole festival. So it's being observed even today in Jagannath Puri. So it's a very ancient tradition. Therefore, it has got a very deep meaning to it also. The meaning is very deep. What is Ratha Yatra exactly? What is happening there? Externally, these things happening, and all sorts of people take part in it. There are Buddhists, there are Muslims, there are worshippers of Ganesha. For everybody, Jagannath is very dear. Right? So many people take part in it. It's a massive festival. It is an offering to the Lord. And Sri Kshetra, or where the Lord is situated in Puri, that is the famous place. Sri Kshetra means the place of Lakshmi. And that is like Dwaraka, a place of opulence where the Lord has got 16,108 palaces and 16,108 queens and many children, and he is in like a Kshatriya. He is, different mood, Aishwarya Bhava, great opulence. But he travels on the Ratham from that place and comes to Gundicha temple. Gundicha is his mother's place. And that Gundicha temple is supposed to be Vrindavana. And this Sri Kshetra is supposed to be Dwaraka. Opulence to Vrindavana, which is like a village. And there are very simple people, all the Vrindavan Vasis. There are Gopas, there are Gopis, there is Nanda Maharaj, there is cows. So from a very opulent place, he comes to a simple place. Why? Aishwarya Bhava, great opulence he enjoys there, like Vaikuntha. And then he comes to this very beautiful, homely, private setting where all his very deep devotees are there. So it is mentioned that from Sundarachala, from Nilachala to Sundarachala. From Nilachal is the place where is his temple. From there he goes to Sundarachala, Vrindavan, in a different mode. So this is called Ratha Yatra, going from here to there, from opulent mode to this mode. And then he stays there for many days and then comes back. Ulta Rath is also performed. So what is exactly happening was shown very nicely by Lord Chaitanya to us. There is a deeper meaning to the Ratha Yatra. Number one is, actually, we are all also supposed to be having this body. And we are not this body. But our body is also like a vehicle, right? Atmanam ratinam vidhi shariram ratamevacha buddhim tu sharatim vidhi manapragrahamevacha. In this way, in the Upanishad, it's mentioned that this body is like a ratha, and the soul is the owner of this body. He's the passenger, he's the owner sitting inside. And the mind is like the reins, and the senses are like the horses, and the intelligence is the driver, and the passenger is the soul. So this body is designed, subtle and gross body, and inside that the soul, you, is sitting. So we are also having a Ratha Yatra. How? Our life is also a yatra, a journey of life. To where? What is the goal of life? Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Surayah Diviva Chakshur Atatam Tad Vipraso Vipinya Voja Gruvagum Sasamindate Vishnuryat Paramam Padam. The real destination for us is the lotus feet of Lord. And that is what a human's life is meant to be. He should use this vehicle and do things in such a way, devotional service, develop his love for the Lord, love for Krishna, Krishna Prema, and gradually move towards Vrindavana. Move towards the spiritual world, move towards the Supreme Lord's lotus feet. This is the goal of life. So life is also a Ratha Yatra. Your life is a Ratha Yatra which is successful if it reaches Vrindavan, reaches the abode, the goal of the Lord, right? The goal of life. But if we don't use our lifetime properly, our Ratha Yatra is not complete. We have to take birth again and again and again and again and again and again until the journey of life really becomes complete. Our destination is the Vrindavan mood. This is what Lord Chaitanya taught us. In his taking part in the Ratha Yatra, which was such a grand event, the king, Prataparudra, the son of this great Purushottama Deva, who became the king, he was in great awe and reverence for Lord Chaitanya because he could see this is Lord Jagannath itself, right? Say Gaura, say Jagannath, say Krishna. Same person, Jagannath is the same person as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is the same as Krishna. But something is happening there because I told you about these moods that are explained. And deeper understanding is that Lord Jagannath is so eager to associate, is Krishna himself, is so eager to associate with the Vrindavan Vasis because he left from Vrindavan. Akrura came and took him under Kamsa's invitation. And the Lord told, I am coming back, I'm coming back. But all the gopis, the gopas, everybody stopped the chariot and told Akrura, don't take Krishna and Balaram from here. They are life and soul. How can we be without Krishna? But somehow Krishna pacified them and he went off. Actually, Krishna never leaves Vrindavana. Vrindavanam parityajya eka padam na gachanti. He won't take one step out of Vrindavana, actually. So it is mentioned that he left, but he didn't leave. He disappeared. He became aprakat. But actually he left and he took another aspect of him and went to Dwaraka, where he showed his opulence and palaces and war and soldiers and chariots and everything like this. So the Vrindavan Vasis were waiting and waiting and they were pining in separation from Krishna. Nothing was going on properly in Vrindavana. So there was a great eclipse. And at that time, everybody went to Kurukshetra to do their rites during the eclipse. And the Vrindavan Vasis also went there. And Krishna also came there from Dwaraka. But he came in a different way. He came as a soldier, as a Kshatriya, dressed like a Kshatriya. He came on a chariot driven by horses and so much of infantry, cavalry and everything in a procession. So he was looking very different for the Vrindavan Vasis. Look at this. And so Krishna saw them. And then is a memory about all his younger days, his butter stealing, his lifting the Govardhan hill, his having Rasalila with the gopis, having fun with the gopas every day, killing the demons. How sweet. All those things came back in remembrance. And Radharani, the gopis, gopas, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, everybody met with him and said, what is this? How do you look? You look different. And then Krishna started speaking very officially also because he was in Dwaraka and he is coming like that with that mood. He also started speaking to that, if you worship me, he started speaking like Bhagavad Gita, Ham Sarvasya Prabhu Matta Sarvam Pravartate Iti Matva Bhajate Mam, and they remember me always and all that. And they were wondering, what is this? You are our Krishna. You belong to Vrindavana. And you're wearing all these things, coming in a chariot like a soldier. We don't know you like this. You belong to us, and the affection and love and purity, simple, pure love of the Vrindavan Vasis for Krishna took over his emotions. And actually, the Radharani and the gopis think, what are you trying to teach us to remember you? We are dying out of remembering you. We are separated from you. You don't have to speak Bhagavad Gita to us. You don't have to teach us how to remember. You should simply come with us to Vrindavan. That's what we want you to do. We don't want Bhagavad Gita preaching now. We are completely lost thinking about you and you are not present here. You said you'll come back. So Krishna was with Balaram and Subhadra. The chariot was pulled by the Vrindavan Vasis. Their mood, Radharani, is the epitome of that mood. And he was taken and he could not say anything, no. He was overcome by the devotion of the Brajavasis and he went to Vrindavan. This is the mood behind the Ratha Yatra. Krishna is Jagannath, and Jagannath is so eager to go to Vrindavan. He's so eager to enjoy Madhurya Rasa with the Vrindavan Vasis. And there Lord Chaitanya is playing the role of Radharani because he has come in the mood of Radharani, right? Radha Bhava Suvilita Naumi Krishna Swarupam. That same Krishna has accepted the complexion of Radharani, has accepted the emotion and the mood of Radharani. So he is dancing there in the Ratha Yatra, in Kirtan, and he's in that mood. Oh my Lord, I'm seeing you again after so long. In Kurukshetra, you must be feeling, Radharani is feeling like that. Gopis are feeling like that. All the Vrindavan Vasis, so beautiful to see you, right? In that mood. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is doing Kirtan. That is the mood of Kirtan. Prema Rasa. Premera Sankirtana. He was doing, and in that mood, he was jumping, twirling in the sky and jumping in ecstasy of seeing Krishna, because Radharani is seeing Krishna after so long in that mood. And tears were coming like waterfalls, like pipe, woof, water coming out of his head in ecstasy. And he was jumping and dancing with such enthusiasm. King Prataprudra was watching. Wow, what amazing mood. And then not only that, in 7 Sankirtan troops, in each one of them he appeared, 7 Lord Chaitanyas, and each one of them he was dancing differently. So Prataprudra saw this, was stunned. Wow, this is indeed Krishna. This is indeed the Supreme Lord, enjoying a pastime which nobody could relish so much except those people who were his very close devotees, were able to enjoy what he was enjoying. So Swarup Damodar Goswami knew, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, all of them knew, and King Prataprudra also could see. And then by the blessing of the Lord, there was this great Bhatta, who is that Vallabha Bhatta. He also saw, this is Krishna only. So it was so wonderful that they were all watching this and they were lost and absorbed in this, because that was the mood of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was sometimes dancing, chanting, and he fell behind the Ratha. And the Ratha went up. So immediately Krishna and the Ratha said, they must not think that I have left them behind in Vrindavan and have forgotten them and gone away. So he would stop. The Ratha would stop, although they're pulling. So when Lord Chaitanya would come in the front with his kirtan, again the Lord will become very happy, because you are very important to me. You are leading me to Vrindavan. I'm coming with you. And whenever the Lord would come in the front, when Lord Chaitanya would come in the front with his kirtan party, again the Radham will move. Whenever he goes behind, the Radham will stop. Like this, there was some language, a message between the Lord, Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra on the Ratha and the Sankirtan party and Lord Chaitanya. There was a very intimate connection. Both were pining for each other. Radharani and Lord Chaitanya, in the mood of Radharani, was waiting for Krishna in separation, Vipralamba Bhava. He was hankering for Krishna's association. And Krishna on the chariot as Jagannath, he was so happy and waiting to go to the Vrindavan Vasis and enjoy Madhurya Rasa. In this way, there was some nice exchange going on there. And the Ratha Yatra was so sweet and filled with all this. And they come to Gundicha. Gundicha is Vrindavan, Sundarachala. And there the Lord is completely comfortably placed in Vrindavan with the Gopas, with the Gopis, with his mother Yashoda, with his father Nanda Maharaj, with all of them together, the Sakhis, the Manjaris, and everybody together. So there he does his Leela, his Vrindavan Leela. So this is what is happening inside. The mood of Ratha Yatra is that the Vrindavan Vasis are taking the Lord back to Vrindavan. And this is the goal that Lord Chaitanya told us. His teachings tell us, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramyakachit Upasana Brajavaduvargena Ya Kalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Iti Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatradharana Paraha. There is no teaching greater than this. Tatradharana Paraha. This is Lord Chaitanya's instruction to us. What is it? Aradhyo Bhagavan Vrajeshani, has worship that supreme Shyamasundara Krishna, who is Vrajayisha Tanaya, right? Nanda Maharaj's son. So also should you worship that beautiful Dhama, Vrindavana, Tadhama Vrindavanam. Similarly, you should worship, it's non-different from Krishna. And how do you worship? Ramyaka Chitupasana Vrajavaduvargena Ya Kalpita. You should worship like the damsels of Vraja, the beautiful maidens in Vraja, the gopis, Srimati Radharani, and all of them. In what mood they worship? Same mood you should worship. Separation, feeling of love, intense. And whom should you follow? Vrajavaduvargena Ya Kalpita. All the Brajavasis and their mood, that's what you should follow in their path. And where is this mentioned? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan. In the Bhagavatam, you will see this. The central piece of the Bhagavatam is the Rasa Leela in Vrindavana. The 10th canto is filled with all the pastimes of the Lord in Vrindavana. You will see beautifully there illustrated all these things. That is proof. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam. That is the evidence and proof of what is being said here by Lord Chaitanya. Amalam, pure. Prema Pumarto Mahan. The real goal of human life is to achieve this type of love of God, like the Brajavasis. This is the topmost goal. We know that Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha is a Chatush Purushartha that we are talking about normally in this world. But beyond that, Panchama Purushartha, the 5th goal, is the real goal, to achieve love of God. So when we achieve that type of prema like the devotees in Vrindavana, our life is successful. Our life is successful. These are the instructions of Lord Chaitanya. So Ratha Yatra signifies the journey of that soul from the situation he is in to the Vrindavan situation of pure love of God like the Brajavasis. So it's very meaningful. And this is the goal of life. And Lord Chaitanya illustrated that by his own exercise and performance. And in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned very beautifully in description. Everybody was in awe at what was going on. Everybody was trying to see Lord Chaitanya dancing. There was Srivas Thakur. The king, Prataprudra, was standing. In front of him was his assistant, Harichandan. He was, please move, please move, please move. The king. Like today morning, you would have seen the king coming on a palanquin, special palanquin drawn by people into the crowd, and he performed his rites there, and then he went back. So the king is respected. He is Naradeva, representative of the Lord, and he's a very great servant. He personally sweeps the floor in the front. Right? So he was watching the Ratha Yatra from his place. And in front was Srivas Thakur, one of the Panchatattva. He's such a beautiful, wonderful devotee. And he was also watching in awe. Wow, look at Lord Chaitanya dancing. Look at the emotion. Look at the love for Krishna. He's completely torn aside by love for Krishna, and he's leaping into the air, dancing, crying, twirling in the air, spinning and falling down and getting up again. What love, what devotion in front of Lord Jagannath. He was also watching. The king was watching 7 Lord Chaitanyas. Wow, everybody was watching. All the devotees could see, everybody could not see. So Prataprudra was watching, in front was Harichandan. And Srivas Thakur was also watching like this. So he did not know. He told, excuse me, please don't move like this and like that. Please, you're covering the king. Excuse me. Several times he tapped Srivas's hand, shoulder, like this. And King Prataprudra did not say anything because he was watching. He was absorbed. Then suddenly Shiva's Thakur, after a lot of tapping, he turned around and looked angrily at that servant Harichandan and gave him one slap. You're disturbing me while I'm watching Lord Chaitanya. Nobody likes to be disturbed. One look. The gopis, while seeing Krishna, they were telling, I don't want to twitch my eyelids. What a bad design he has done, Brahma. Jada udikshatam pakshmakrit disham. He's a jada. He doesn't know design. These eyelids, the eyes are meant to see the Lord. And why you put the eyelid inside between? I don't like that gap when you have to twitch the eyes. This is the feeling of the Brajavasi devotees. They think eyelid is useless design. There should be no eyelids. Keep on watching Krishna without a shake. Kshana, they want to be. Nimisha, they don't like that. So when devotees are so observed, Shiva's Thakur so observed, imagine somebody is keeping on pushing you like this. You got very wild, he turned around and gave one slap. And that Harichandan got a stunning slap. He wanted to give him back. Immediately Prataprudra caught him and said, no, don't. Be very happy. Somebody like Shiva's Thakur has given you a slap on the holy occasion of Ratha Yatra. Be happy, he told him. And he told him to control himself. All sorts of things were happening and people were eager to see the Lord like this. Many things happened. It's a huge festival. Lots of emotions were being expressed to Lord Jagannath. And Lord Jagannath is coming, rumbling, tumbling down the streets in the Grand Road. You would see, gata, 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 gata. Very huge Ratham. Such a spectacle to behold. And so many emotions being expressed by so many people. Manima, Manima. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu screamed and raised his hands. Manima, my dear Lord. Manima means a very affectionate way of saying. And if you go there, you will see the Panda will embrace Lord Jagannath. I have personally gone once and embraced Lord Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra. You pay a little to the Panda, he will allow you to. Nowadays, I think they don't. But you can climb the chariot, go and you can embrace Jagannath. So many emotions expressed there, just like, freely. So for Lord Jagannath actually is very merciful. He accepts all these things and gives mercy. Whatever little seva you do, whatever you pull the chariot, you chant, you offer some garland, you glorify the Lord, you chant his holy names in Kirtan. And this is a great time when the Lord is on the chariot, is very, very merciful. If you see him on the chariot, there's no more birth for you in this world, is mentioned. So in this way, so many emotions are involved. So many wonderful things are happening there. And the Lord, especially Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, dancing and chanting is a spectacle to watch. Chaitanya Charitamrita describes this in great, great detail. So Lord Jagannath is wonderfully relating with everybody. It's mentioned that Lord Jagannath in this form in Kali Yuga is an ocean of mercy, Karuna Sindhu. Ramachandra Bhagavan, when he wound up his pastimes before he left back to Ayodhya and back to the spiritual world, he called upon Vibhishana and told him that Ikshvaku Kula, you should worship Jagannath. He told Vibhishana that you should worship Jagannath. He gave instruction at that time in Treta Yuga. So Lord Jagannath has been present, like I told you, doing Swayambhuva Manu is the first Manu during Brahma's time. Swayambhuva Manu, Swarochisha Manu, Chakshusha Manu, Uttama, like this, like that it goes down. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. During the Swayambhuva Manu's time, Lord Jagannath appeared. During the Swarochisha Manu's time, Ratha Yatra was started. And there is a big history to Ratha Yatra and to Lord Jagannath's temple and many things happening. Buddhists taking over, Muslims taking over, this, that. But somehow the other, the festivities have always been going on and on and on. Even now, during the pandemic, last year there was a little restriction. And this year again, I think some reasonable, this thing is there. So this is a time for us to meditate on our journey, our Ratha Yatra in our life. And when similarly, we will be able to draw Krishna into our heart. Lord Chaitanya said in Chaitanya Charitamrita, my heart is Vrindavana. And my mind is also like that. So our drawing the Lord into our heart and giving him a permanent residence is the successful Ratha Yatra for us. At that time, our birth and death in this world will stop. We will actually be completely liberated, going to the Lord's lotus feet in eternal service to him. So as long as this lasts, there is, in Vrindavana, for instance, they never observe Ratha Yatra. There's no Ratha Yatra in Vrindavana because it's not required. You've reached the destination. There's no Yatra required. That's your destination. So when we reach the Lord and his destination in pure love of Krishna, when we attain, your journey stops. That's the end of your material life. For so many koti janmas you have been here. Bahunam janmanamante Jnanavan mam prapadyate Vasudevam sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Actually, it's very rare to understand love of Krishna. But because of the mercy of Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, who so profusely gave out mercy, and various ways we can approach the Lord, especially through this Ratha Yatra, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who was so kind to introduce the chanting of the holy name, the greatest treasure, Chiradhadattam Nijarupa Vittam Swapremna Nama Mritamati Udaraha. The greatest treasure in the Lord's own treasury is the holy name. Chirad Adatam. Never before did he take out of his treasury and give this so freely to everybody. So he has given us the holy name. If we chant the holy name, we will develop love of Krishna and our Ratha Yatra will be over. We will reach Vrindavana. We'll get pure love of God. So remember your Ratha Yatra, which is the main important thing. And you're watching and hearing this about the Lord's Ratha Yatra, filled with emotions of the devotees in Vrindavan, so that you may also achieve the Vrindavan state of love of God, right? Then your Ratha Yatra is over. It comes to the destination, comes to Gundicha. So we should try to take these instructions very seriously, which Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mame vaishasi satyam te pratijane priyosime. You will definitely achieve me if you follow this. Try to become my devotee, think of me and serve me. So this is our business. And today we are very, very happy to be able to glorify Lord Jagannath, Balaram and Subhadra Devi and the Ratha Yatra pastime and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and join with all of you and remember this. Om Tat Sat, Hare Krishna. Shri Jagannath Swami ki, Jagannath Ratha Yatra Mahotsava ki, Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai ki, Jai Gaura Premanand ki.
Hari Hari
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah.
And so humble to hear such a wonderful streams and important instructions. Hope everybody will be dragging Jagannath into their hearts and fulfill their life ambition.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Maharaj.
you very
Can
much.
please, possibly, we'll have a small introduction about the Kuwait Chandra temple also, Maharaj.
So Anup, do you have that? Are you here, Anup?
Yeah, Anutam Gopal Prabhu is here.
Not Anuttama Gopal, but my assistant Anup.
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have what he wants? Did he tell you?
No, Maharaj.
You want to show it? Do you have any?
I just check, Maharaj.
Yeah, I think there is a video that you can see, or you can show our website.
Yeah.
By the time, if there is any questions or any comments, please.
Yeah,
go
if you have
ahead.
any questions, I can answer. You can go to iskoncoimbatore.com. I think they have a website, something there. There may be some video there also. Yes, any question or comment in the meantime when he shares the screen and gets to it.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble dandavats at your lotus feet.
Hare Krishna, Shivaguna, eppadi irukkel?
Allah Maharaj. We are very happy, Maharaj, to get your association. I know you are having a very busy schedule. So in spite of that, you accepted our invitation.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. Maharaj, actually, just a question on today's class. when we say like Lord Krishna was pulled to Vrindavan. So did Krishna actually go to Vrindavan, or it was only mentally they have invited in their hearts?
No. He went to Vrindavan. It's mentioned after killing Dantavakra, he went to Vrindavan.
Oh, okay.
That is mentioned confidentially. Shishupala, Dantavakra was the last demon he finished with in Mathura.
Okay.
And then after that, he went back. He came to kill all the demons, it's mentioned. But actually, Krishna never leaves Vrindavana.
Yes, Maharaj. Okay.
But he assumed the Vasudeva Krishna status, and he went to, that's a different type of pastime. So Aishwarya Leela he performed, so he went there and he came back to Vrindavan.
Okay, Maharaj.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Any other question or comment? Okay, Anup, you got it ready?
Yes, Maharaj.
Yeah, you can share the screen. So, just to give you a briefing under the order of Mani Bhushana Krishnadas, I am just telling you, some of you know about this, some of you also helped us out. This is an old video, but it's okay. Okay, Hare Krishna, there is an old video, but the construction has completed to a great extent now. Most of the civil work is over. And because of the lockdown for the past 2 years, it has been going very slowly. Let's say 1 year it's been going slowly. Also, we need a lot of contribution and help financially. So if there's anybody who wants to take part in it, we'll be very happy to encourage you. You can go to our website, iskoncoimbatore.com. Can you show that, Anup, the website. This iskoncoimbatore.com you can go to, and under Kuwait Chandra project, there are various schemes that you can take part in. If you want to, that will be very helpful. And also we are having a housing project here, people who want to settle up here. And there's a big community of devotees. It's called Kuwait Chandra Education and Cultural Project. We have an academy already functioning now. We have 150 students doing Bhakti Shastri in Tamil, in English, in Malayalam language. And we are on outreach. We have thousands of students learning Bhagavad Gita on outreach. We have children's programs. We have a community of devotees. And there's a big housing project also happening. And this whole thing is going to be managed by many, many devotees together. And this is a very big project. It's got a guest house, which is already coming up with 100 rooms. It's got a restaurant. It's got whole 6-7 halls for education. It's got a museum on Bhagavad Gita. It's a real very big project on an 8-acre land, and 3 acres more, 11 acres totally. The 3 acres meant for housing and everything together. So many devotees are already booking up for places here. And this way, we plan to create a community of people who are all devotees, who have a lifetime of service to do, and a lot of preaching can be done, and everybody will be looking after each other nicely. So we welcome all of you to take part in this project in some way or the other. And you can go through this website, iskoncoimbatore.com. There's a description of every portion of the thing. You can join, and there are also various schemes that you can take part in. There are all sorts of schemes that I mentioned here. I'm not an expert at this now because I'm not directly involved as a fundraising team. I never expected that he's going to ask me to show these things. There's a fundraising team. These are all some late photos for past 1 year. I think it has already come up. It's marble cladding and the pillar. You can donate a pillar. You can donate so much. You can become a Kuwait Chandra patron member. The donate a brick scheme, I think, is over now. Like that, there are many schemes for all sorts of people, and you can take part in this. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention. And we hope you have a great time remembering Lord Jagannath today and get his mercy. Om Tat Sat.
Thank you, Maharaj. Shivananda Prabhu, you can do vote of thanks.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for giving your time and association to us on this very auspicious day. The temple we all saw, it's very beautiful, very looking traditional as well as modern, both blended together. So it's very beautiful, and it's, I think, a very big mega project, because when we scroll down, we see a lot of these things are included in the plan. So we pray also to the Lord that this project should be very successfully completed by Lord Jagannath's mercy. And thank you, Maharaj. It was a very wonderful class. And on behalf of Kanyadesh devotees, we'd like to thank you. We'd also like to hear more, get more of your association in future. And on behalf of Kanyadesh Yatra devotees, we would like to express our humble gratitude by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you. Kanyadesh devotees are very dear to me, and I miss my presence there, and all the prasadam and all the association, everything. I hope we are separated a lot now, but we are at least able to get on the virtual platform. I hope that I'll come and meet Manibhushana Krishna and Shivaguna and all of you again, and have a great time dancing and chanting. Thank you.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa patitanam pavanebhyo namo namaha.
Hari Hari, Gaura Hari, Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His grace, His